Welcome back. If you just joined us, this is the press. We're reaching live from KAFTAN's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. Now, let's swiftly go straight to analyzing the stories that we read out to you. And my guest on the show this morning is Richard Oriri, who is a public affairs analyst. Great to have you on the show, Richard.
Good morning, Annabel.
Good morning. All right. Our phone lines are now open. You can call in to make your contributions, or please keep it at 1 minute. Now, there's quite a number of stories, but let's see how we can manage to take a few of them. The Punch newspaper still reports the bomb blast that happened, or the suicide bombing, the terror bombing, whichever name you decide to call it, that happened in Borno State last weekend. And the Punch says Borno bombing death toll hit 32 as 14 survivors discharged. But then if you look at other papers, Daily Independent says fight against terrorism must be total and uncompromising. And I remember reading a particular story from Atiku Abubakar yesterday, where he talked about the fact that he accused, or he alleged that the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he actually blaming him for the increase that we find, especially in terms of insecurity. And then coming back to Borno State, which used to be a peaceful state at some point, but now this is what we see. And I remember someone telling me that he was watching Russia TV, and then he saw the return of bomb blast in Nigeria. Is it that bad, or are we is it just some bad press? Richard Oriri.
Annabel, from your analysis, you see that what has happened in Borno State is too complicating. It's complicating in the sense that if we are taking it from the angle of the ice swap that we held of their influx into Nigeria recently, and again the other message coming from a politician, a strong politician in the north, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, the Turaki of Adamawa, you will see political ingredients to it as well.
Really?
And another point again you raised there, the flashing of what happened in Borno State on Russian television, meaning possibly external influence into the happening in Borno State. But we cannot totally rely on the external influence, but we have to take it as an internal issue. It's an internal issue in the sense that possibly, if you see recently, you see what the Nigerian military and the Air Force, they are doing seriously to nail anything insecurity in this country to the board. But there could be a kind of relaxing. You know, the last bomb blast happened in 2019 or so, and after that time, most areas in Nigeria, especially public gatherings, churches, markets, mosques, they used to have tight security, but of a sudden, everything disappeared. And these people have to re-strategize to say to these people, that is to Nigerians, they are no more existing. And they have to give us sign to say, we are still here.
Is that what you see it as?
I look at it from that angle. We are still here. And not that they have been totally eliminated. They have not been totally eliminated, but we can't relax. The problem there is that we relax so much. And Borno State, where this bomb blast started again, has been the hub of this bomb blast from the beginning. And even if we are relaxing in other parts of the country, there shouldn't be any relaxing in the far north, especially Borno State. And this Gwoza has been their own territory. Gwoza, where the bomb blast happened, it has been their own territory. And they have taken Gwoza away from the terrorists for long. And you cannot just say that they have gone. And most of these people, they have been releasing from prison, from cells, to say we have reformed them, and they are now living peacefully with us.
Remember, they talked about the de-radicalization at some point.
You cannot just rely on those people. You can't rely. and some of them that have been reformed by the statement of the government. Some of them that have been reformed. Is there any follow up? I don't think there's so much follow up to why there should be this bomb blast again. And what has happened cannot just happen from the perspective of somebody that doesn't have the knowledge of the terrain and how this should be carried out. It could be somebody who have the knowledge of how it is done, that have done this, carried out these acts of bomb blast recently in Borno State. So I don't think the Nigerian military that is carrying out this exercise of reformation of this terrorist group that they arrested from the bush, and some of them they say they have to incorporate them into the society again. What kind of follow up? And the level of poverty in the country today is so high, and if you have pulled such people from such environment into the normal society, and you are not following the way you ought to following them the way you ought to follow, there is every possibility of them slipping out of your hand to still go and carry out this kind of exercise. So my own suggestion is that Nigeria, especially the military who is handling this aspect of reformation, they should step up more. And from the statement coming from the national leader of Adamawa State, that is Turaki of Adamawa, the former vice president of Nigeria, I don't think that message was national. It was not a national statement. It's not that statement is not coming as from somebody, from him, and he ought to be somebody that is a nationalistic, both in action and in words.
So you're just saying it as a statement coming from an opposition party?
Not just opposition, but a statement that is denting. A statement that is so bad, so terrible, so worse, very bad to Nigeria. And if he's doing that, instead of sympathizing with the family that have lost their loved ones in this bomb blast, the way he's taking it, making it political, is not fair at all. It's not. The whole country today, we are grieved because, like what has happened in Borno now, the bomb blast, the resurfacing of bomb blast in Borno State now. You see the Western.
You see it as a resurfacing.
It's resurfacing now. It's resurfacing. There's no other day you can give.
But can't it be nipped in the bud, just like President?
It can be nipped to the bud. Because the strategy, they have to come up with new strategy on how. That is what I have been saying. Like some of these people that they say they are reforming, that they are training to bring back again into the society for them to blend with the society. They have to take it very serious. You don't just take people to the class, lecture them on one or two things, you give them 100,000, go and do so, then at the end you forget about them. No follow up. You don't even know where they live.
All right.
You don't know the class of people that they are even relating with as friends.
All right, Richard, because you mentioned the fact that you talked about external influence. You see external influence in this, because I remember yesterday all the newspaper was reporting how immediately that happened, the US decided to pledge their support, that they were going to support Nigeria. I saw the US mayor say that this is one too much. There will be no this would not happen again. He would ensure that it doesn't happen again, and then they pledged their support to Nigeria in terms of both military and both the kinetic and the non-kinetic support. I'm bringing you back to the statement you made. Do you see, is there any link in this?
There's so much.
They just want to support Nigeria.
There's so much link. No. There's so much link. You know, from the beginning, US and Russia, they are not friends. Even before the disintegration of Soviet Union in 1991, US and Russia, they have never been friends. Until today, they are not friends. The Russia now, they are fighting strongly to see how they will bring the image of US, America, and its European allies down, especially in African continent. In the African continent, yes, Russia and China, they are the leader of the global south today, and China is championing the fight against US influence in the whole of Africa. Russia is part of them. Now that US have come to say they are pledging loyalty and the support to Nigeria and all of this, because Nigeria, we are aligning with US. There's so much alignment between Nigeria and US. And look at what is happening in Kenya. And Russia, China, India, they are watching. Look at what has happened in Kenya. The tax increase. This tax increase that the entire citizen voted against. You get my point. And it's coming from the Western idea of IMF issue and World Bank policy. Maybe the man have gone to seek for loan. And they will say, you will increase tax to enable you pay us back. And you know quite well that if you increase tax, it will not be well for the people, because already they are poor. And you are increasing tax, you are increasing their poverty. And that is what they resisted. The same thing happening in Nigeria. But what is happening in Nigeria, the poverty here now, and what is likely to happen in China, in Kenya, is the same thing. And it's US influence.
But they keep increasing tax in Nigeria, and we are not protesting.
We are not.
We just move with the flow.
We have to move with the flow, because that is a part of our culture. No matter how terrible the system is, we know how to absorb as our shock absorber. We know how to raise it up to see how we stand firm. So that is Nigeria. But in other climb, it's not. They don't take it lightly, like it in Kenya now. In China, yes, now in Kenya, you will see this. You see what the citizens have done. Now Russia, they are laughing at us, and that is why you see immediately the bomb blast happen. They pick it.
You see, they are laughing at us to Nigeria.
They are laughing at us. See South Africa. South Africa is a member of BRICS nation.
Right.
India is a member of BRICS nation,
right,
championed by China, and Russia is part of it. And some other African countries, they are coming into it. Over 40 countries in the global south, they have indicated interest to become members of BRICS nation. And Iran has joined, Egypt have joined. You understand what I'm saying? So Nigeria, that is supposed to be the giant of Africa, we are not looking at it from that angle. And most of these BRICS nations, BRIC countries, they are living very well. Egypt, if you see the GDP, is very high. All the members of a BRICS nation, their GDP is very high, over $1 trillion. But Nigeria, we are still within the range of a billion, 500 something, 50 something billion US dollar, our GDP, which is very low. If you go to other BRICS nations, smaller countries that shouldn't even be compared with Nigeria, they are doing very well because of the support from Russia and China to them. But the US and its European allies, they are impoverishing us. They are what is going on within this our zone now is I can call it a modern imperialism. So that is what the Russian people, they are in fact kind of laughing at us. It's laugh there. They are laughing at us. Immediately,
Richard, can you actually shave a man's hair behind at his back?
It's not possible.
It means that Nigeria is aware of it, and we keep moving with it.
I'm aware of what is that?
With the fact that you said that Nigeria is playing their cards, and they are using the US they're bringing in their influence and using it again to our favor, because it's more like giving you something with one hand and then receiving it back with the other hand. If you don't accept it, will it come?
It will not come. But
it's because you accepted it with open hands.
The person who took Nigeria
because he goes to Niger. That's the reason why they revolted.
Yes. The person who took us before this Western idea or IMF World Bank policy, is President Olusegun Obasanjo. When he was military president, he took us to IMF. It was him. From that time till now, we have not deviated. And it's not going well with us. The poverty level in Nigeria today is so high. And if you look at it, the removal of fuel subsidy is part of it. Tax increment is part of it. Look at common semovita. The company has folded. If you go to the market now, you can't get semovita to buy.
In fact, I went yesterday and I could not even see
one.
You
can't see one. They are folding. Too many companies are folding. They say they collected $500 million loan for metering to meter houses. If you meter houses and you are increasing NEPA bill, what are you gaining? What will you gain from it? The people you are taking this, you are increasing the tax to pay. Where are they making the money from? Smaller entrepreneurs, at least small medium enterprises, they afford it. Common pure water. Before we buy pure water for 770 naira, till get to 100 naira, 150 a bag. But now, without 500, you can't get it. And so many people can't even afford it.
Richard Oriri, let's go to our next story. Our time is fast spent. I'll take 2 questions and I'd like you to take them together if you can in the next 5 minutes before we round off. Daily Times says INEC has no power to conduct local government election, and that's coming from Professor Yakubu. Says unless necessary constitutional amendments are made, INEC will only continue to organize national and state elections. Commission proposes 142 recommendations to improve electoral process. Let's get your thoughts in that regard, and then finally we'll talk about the feud between the FCT minister and this FCT senator. FCT minister tells the FCT senator that we will unseat you in 2027. We will ensure that you don't come back. But then the FCT senator tells Nigerians that all this project you're seeing, it is not to Nigerians' favor or the people of Abuja's favor. It is just personal. Let's get your thoughts in this regards very quickly.
First, let's take it from the angle of INEC conducting local government elections. Local government elections, you said?
Right.
That is to be the normal thing. If INEC, we have 3 tiers of government in Nigeria: the federal government, the state government, and the local government. And they are all constitutional creation. If INEC can conduct election to federal offices, conduct election to state offices, why can't INEC conduct election to local government office?
Okay.
They are constitutional creation. And until INEC have the total power to conduct election to local government offices, we will not get it right. And there will be no development in Nigeria.
Are we getting it right, even with the fact that they're conducting the national and state elections?
They are a bit fair. State election conducted by federal INEC, a bit fair. Federal election conducted by INEC,
they have different state sec. That's the different state
electoral commission. It's because some section of the constitution merge local government with state government.
Right.
And that is why even the federation allocation, FAC, is going jointly with the state and local government. And that is where the state governors are stealing massively from the masses, who ought to be in charge of this local government fund for local development, for local infrastructure, for local agricultural incentives, for local community health centers. The state governors, they are stealing from the local people, and they are not injecting this money they are taking from local government into the development of the local communities.
So if we've been calling for local government autonomy for almost forever, are we ever going to get there?
Let us have people who have the political will to changing the constitutional provisions that will take off local government from state government, where our local government funds will go directly. In 1999, I said most of these problems that we are having in Nigeria today emanated from the regime of President Olusegun Obasanjo. Before the military handed over democracy to us in 1998, they conducted an election.
Are you accusing
he is part of the problem? He is part of the problem. He is part of the problems we are having. He's part of the problem. In 1999, the election conducted in 1998 that brought him, Olusegun Obasanjo, and too many other persons into governance in Nigeria democratically, was conducted by the military, and it was so fair, so free. If you go to local government that time, almost the 774 local government in Nigeria was keenly contested for. Councillors in all the wards keenly contested for. But after that, Obasanjo scattered everything. 2003 election was a mess.
Go ahead. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Collins from Otukpo Benue State.
Good morning.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Okay.
Collins, how is the dilapidated road in Otukpo? How is it now? Are they doing anything about it?
They are not doing anything. It's even killing people now.
Jesus Christ, Jesus, especially that railway crossing.
That one is only good now.
It's a death trap.
I'm telling you. From there down to roundabout, it's just grace.
Oh Jesus.
And from roundabout down to Tupa and boundary between us and the East.
Kai.
God is working.
God will help us.
You see, the problem we have is that, like me, I see to it that even the federal INEC, they are not even at the trust side. Okay, look at the issue that is going on now between the FCT senator now. It's because it's not dancing to their tune. That is the same thing that happens to Ningi. When Ningi happens to speak the truth, I believe now everything has been swept under the carpet. Nothing is coming out from there again. Each time I do say it's only God that will keep us together. Because if you see to it now, the pronouncement that Dino Melaye made at the 8th Senate is still lingering. He said we are all sitting on the time bomb. And I pray that bomb should not explode. The explosion of that bomb will come up when this hunger is becoming too alarming that nobody knows what to eat. As long as we are not going to eat ourselves and the price of things are not coming down. Fuel, you cannot buy fuel now and go to the farm. Farming period is on now. You can't buy chemical to go to your farm. You can't buy fuel to go to your farm. Even a guinea corn that we used to buy to make glue now, the rubber paint, as long as then is concerned now, we are buying it in my place in Otupona at the rate of 5,000. How much are you going to sell the glue?
All right.
Everything is just God. God should help us. I look to it that this democracy is not made for more especially with the black. Okay, look at the way that Kenya is going now. Look at the way Nigeria is going now. They are living fine. We are not agitating for military, but I see to it that he is the best.
Thank you so much, Collins from Otukpo, Benue State. I hope most definitely we'll all be all right. Nigerians go survive.
The level of poverty is so high, and now that poverty has been with us for long in Nigeria. The worst part of it now is that even if you want to feed, you don't even have the means to get the food to eat. That is worsening the whole situation. Like he said, I keep arguing with some people. They said democracy, socialism. They are all democracy because in socialist state, like in Russia, they just conducted the election this year too. China, they practice socialism. They are conducting election too, like us, democratic states that conduct election. But they could be autocratic. But if you see their system of governance, is a bit better than our own. The areas where you see socialist countries becoming autocratic is when you are going against national interests. It is especially on national security matter. Then they don't take it with you. Like journalists, just writing things anyhow that would dent the image of their country in democratic states. In socialist states, they don't take it. You can't go against the national interest, which especially on security matter. And
they can do a bad press about other nations, especially the global north.
The global.
They can write the return of suicide bombing in Nigeria, but they cannot do it in the journalists in Russia cannot do it in Russia.
They can do it, but you can do it, but they can try to see how they will punish you. Even in India, last month there was a bomb blast in India. But the journalists did not take it the way Nigerians did.
They're always patriotic in what they're writing. That's what I'm saying.
Yes. But the people were coming from, is it Hajj or something? They were coming from prayer. They are Muslim people coming from prayer. Suicide bomber went on the road to attack their boss and killed so many people.
Richard,
did you see?
We have less than 2 minutes.
Abuja issue.
Let's go to
Coming to Abuja issue. Yes, Wike and the senator. They are fighting for political relevance. The senator is saying things to see how she will sit well and possibly come the second time. And Wike,
is she not sitting well?
She's not sitting well because since the time she was sworn in, I've not seen, just like Wike said, she has not presented any single bill on the floor of the house that will better the life, that will talk about betterment of life, dignity of life of FCT people, including myself and yourself that lives in FCT. Wike, since he came as a minister, he has done so well in terms of infrastructure.
Yes,
and the woman is talking about schools. Now Wike is only constructing roads, not building schools. It's in phases. Like other most rural roads that were abandoned before, Wike has resurrected them. He has gone to the rural communities and constructing roads. Even traditional institutions that relegated to the background before, in all the palaces in the 6 area councils, Wike has constructed road to the palace, building palace for traditional rulers and doing a lot. If the senator truly and sincerely is representing FCT, then she should, on the floor of the house, let us be seeing her actions, presenting bills, motions that will speak to the interests of FCT indigenes.
But isn't it to look at like as though there are no opposition in that house anymore?
Generally,
you have SDP, you have Labour Party, you have PDP, but it looks as if there's no opposition there again.
Government of National Unity is what they called it in the National Assembly. so Government of National Unity, everyone is struggling to see how you will get something. Because
so they're all aligning.
They are aligning. The alignment is so glaring, and we are seeing it. We are not kids. Nigerians are not kids. We are seeing what is happening in the National Assembly. But at the end, let us see how they will do us well, because we voted in to do the right thing for us. And for FCT minister and FCT senator, let them see how they work together. They should blend and see to the life, the betterment of FCT indigenes.
Richard Oriri, Public Affairs Analyst, thank you so much for coming on the show.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
All right, viewers, that's where we end this program for today. I'll see you again next time. My name is Annabel Orji. Good morning. God bless you and yours. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Keep watching KAFTAN TV.